Okay, I think it's... Some people thought like intelligence is overpowered stat. Well, it was in vanilla Fallout 3. And then they've reduced the skill point gain for intelligence. So it's... if you have 2 intelligence, you get 1 bonus. So they reduced it 2 times. And I'm gonna keep it like vanilla because now those other stats are also much more important. So wait, one more thing. I should edit the tag skill advancement rate. I think the FWE set it to 2, and that's a bit too much. I think it should be 1.5, and that was impossible. It's impossible to modify in game, in GAC, because that number is integer. It needs to be integer. So I'm gonna keep it at 1, and for every 2 points invested, I'm going to add 1 more via console. So I don't know, for my tag skill, small guns for example, if I invest 10, I will invest 5 more via console. And I think that's quite balanced. Otherwise those tag skills don't make much sense. I would then use explosives and medicine. I don't know. It doesn't really make a character like it should. Define a character. Okay, I set this up. I think it should be here. No. Finished. Okay, let's see. So this is it. It's so noisy. So now other mod starts initializing. Yeah, Capital Wasteland. Just be careful not to bump into a dead claw, because there are dead claws. One of the important things I forgot to mention: there are no leveled lists. Wow, a monster's dog. Yeah, for example, this is a monster added by Marts Mutant Mod. It's from Stalker game originally, which I know they're cool and I left them. But you can bump into any kind of enemy. The probabilities and the frequency of getting, I know, super mutant overlords and enclave, those commandos, I don't know, those maximum level raiders, is the same here on level 1 as it is on level any. So I should be careful. I'm just thinking now, should I stop the streaming? Is anybody following? Monstrous dog is returning. What? Oh my god, he doesn't die. Okay, he died from bleeding, right? Okay. If he dies from bleeding, or anybody dies from bleeding... Am I bleeding? No. I don't get experience. Why? Because it was impossible. In GAC it's impossible to get the attacker, to connect the attacker with the target. I don't know, I read that it's impossible. I tried it in many ways. Anyway, I found it also impossible. So I can't really detect if a player hit the target or somebody else hit it. So I don't want to count as a kill if a target dies not from my hands. I mean, I don't want experience, I don't want karma, negative and everything. So I can get the way to check if a player killed. Now I've improvised to be that every weapon is in some weapons are in a form list, some weapons are being detected with ammo. So if I'm having a gun with 10mm ammo and a creature or a character dies from 10mm ammo, that script, every weapon has that script object effect connected with base effect, connected with the script that is being run of the target when he's shot with gun or hit with baseball bat or any kind of weapon. So if he got hit with 10mm weapon and I happen to be equipped with 10mm weapon, doesn't matter even if it's 10mm pistol, or there is a reason why it is like that. I'm going to be explaining that later, maybe somewhere. It's not that important. Well, what's important is that it will count as a kill. I can fix that because I made several scripts for there is not only one script for 10mm weapons and not only one for 5.56mm weapons. There are several. They depend how I define the damage of the weapon. Yeah, I didn't talk about that either. I didn't just write it out of my head. I put it according to the physics. I checked on Wikipedia. First I thought, yeah, it basically is dependent. The damage is dependent on the weapon, on the projectile. Let's talk about bullets. Because I don't know what kind of logic you can find for those energy weapons, which I don't know if they exist, but there is no information on Wikipedia. So for all those projectile weapons, the damage is proportional to the projectile energy, kinetic energy. And the kinetic energy of a bullet is the bullet mass times the bullet velocity squared over 2. Yeah. So it's based on physics. And it just happens that different same caliber weapons have different muzzle velocities of the projectile. And what you can read is the projectile of the velocity of the projectile at the weapon of the gun's muzzle. You know, they can record it just as it exits the barrel. So, and I've set the damage and the speed. Yeah, every projectile has its speed. I don't know if you notice that when a tracer shows up, you can see it, but you can also see if the quality is good enough, the real projectiles, even if they are not tracers. Also the speed, it depends. I really set it to be the real life. I mean, what's the projectile speed in real life for that weapon. And again, that projectile speed, it depends on the cartridge type. You know, like you have for 5.56mm, you have full metal jacket cartridge, or round. I don't know if you're familiar with cartridge. It's